Hi there, my name is Joe Paternoster. I'm a researcher here at Young Epilepsy and I'm currently working on the Turning6 project. Now, Turning6 is a follow-up to a study called Epilepsy, which was carried out a few years ago. Epilepsy looked at 119 children with early onset epilepsy, that is, epilepsy diagnosed before the age of 1. Now, Turning6 looks to follow up with these 119 children and their families to see how that early onset epilepsy might have affected their learning, their mental health and well-being, whether it's affected them physically, how it's affected their wider family, that kind of thing. The idea is to spot patterns in their epilepsies, which can then be used to hopefully improve diagnosis of the epilepsies and provide better treatments at a faster rate. So the main way this research will help children and their families is by helping us map those patterns in epilepsies that we may be able to use to then get the correct diagnosis and treatment faster than what is currently possible. So, for example, say we had a number of 8-9-year-olds in this study who had similar negative outcomes in terms of their learning. We could then look back at their early onset epilepsies and see if there were any similarities amidst those epilepsies, any pointers, anything about them developmentally that we can then see that might link to that reduced learning outcome when they get to the age of 8 or 9. What we can then do is look at other children with that specific type of early onset epilepsy or a similar life situation that we might find, and we can then perhaps start some more focused, tailored treatment a bit earlier that then might stop them from necessarily having those same negative learning outcomes by the time they reach the age of 8 or 9. In terms of benefit to you guys as families, well, you do get a £50 Amazon voucher for a start, which is great, but you are able to be part of a research project that will genuinely be really impactful to children with epilepsy and their families, hopefully for years to come. And children in general have tended to enjoy the study. The assessments we do with them in person are generally quite fun. We call them games, and so children tend to have a good, enjoyable time while doing these tasks. Hi there, my name is Joe Paternoster. I'm a researcher here at Young Epilepsy and I'm currently working on the Turning6 project. Now, Turning6 is a follow-up to a study called Epilepsy, which was carried out a few years ago. Epilepsy looked at 119 children with early onset epilepsy, that is, epilepsy diagnosed before the age of 1. Now, Turning6 looks to follow up with these 119 children and their families to see how that early onset epilepsy might have affected their learning, their mental health and well-being, whether it's affected them physically, how it's affected their wider family, that kind of thing. The idea is to spot patterns in their epilepsies, which can then be used to hopefully improve diagnosis of the epilepsies and provide better treatments at a faster rate. So we are recruiting a group of children without epilepsy as well. So we have what is called a control group. Now, the aim of the control group is to make sure that any differences we see in this population of children with epilepsy are as a result of having epilepsy and not as a result of anything else. So, for example, we control for things like age, for gender, for geographic location, that kind of thing, so that we know that any differences we see, any patterns we observe, can be tied back to being as a result of the child's epilepsy or another associated medical item, as opposed to their age, their gender, where they are born, that kind of thing, which is why we are going for children who are 7 to 9 years of age in the control group as well. Families have to live in the southeast of England or London, that's where we're recruiting from. That is because when Epilepsy was carried out, all of the participants lived in London or the southeast of England. Now, place of birth where someone grew up in is one of the places we want to control for in this study, because where someone grows up, where they live, can have a huge effect on the variety of their outcomes, be it their learning, their mental health, their well-being, that kind of thing. So we want to control for that by making sure that everyone is from the same kind of location.